Porsha Williams recently sat down with her mother, Miss Diane, to open up about the painful and challenging process of her divorce. As Porsha struggles with Simon's behavior and the overwhelming feelings of isolation, Miss Diane offers her daughter tough love and valuable advice. In this heartfelt conversation, Porsha reflects on the difficulties of going through divorce so publicly, especially when compounded by negative influences from those around her. Porsha begins by acknowledging how much her mother has been a steady support system throughout this difficult time. Miss Diane has been not only her confidant but also her prayer partner, providing guidance as Porsha navigates the emotional and logistical challenges of the divorce. For Porsha, having her mother by her side has been invaluable, and she credits her with helping her keep her head above water during the darkest moments. As Porsha prepares for a massage session, she reflects on the importance of self-care and mental clarity, something that has become increasingly crucial during her ongoing divorce. Porsha admits that, at the start of this divorce, she struggled with an overwhelming sense of negativity, especially since the situation was so public. Simon's behavior, which she believes is largely driven by his need to act out in front of others, only added to the emotional strain she was experiencing. Porsha shares how she was taking in all of this negativity, and it felt like it was slowly eating away at her. Meditation and moments of mental clarity, like when she's receiving a massage, have become essential tools for her in finding peace during this tumultuous time. She goes on to reflect on her first divorce, which, while still painful, felt different because there was some level of communication between her and her ex-husband. With Simon, however, the communication has completely broken down, leaving her feeling isolated and alone. Porsha explains that the person she is dealing with now, Simon, feels like a stranger, and she can hardly believe that he was once the person she considered her protector. For the first time, Porsha feels as though she is navigating this divorce without anyone by her side, facing everything alone. Miss Diane empathizes with her daughter, understanding how hard it is to watch her go through such a painful and lonely experience. She shares that in typical divorces, there often comes a point when the husband and wife can break away from their lawyers and try to have a conversation on their own. However, Porsha's attempt to facilitate such a conversation with Simon have been fruitless. She reached out to Simon's pastor, one of his younger cousins, and his older uncles, hoping that they might intervene and help bridge the gap between her and Simon. Unfortunately, they all declined to get involved. In Porsha's cultural background, family members are expected to step in and mediate during a divorce, but Simon's family chose to remain hands-off, allowing the legal process to take its course. This left Porsha feeling even more disappointed and disillusioned. As Porsha continues to process her emotions, Miss Diane advises her daughter to stay focused on protecting her peace. Miss Diane also reminds Porsha that, while it is essential to heal and focus on her own well-being, she should not allow toxic influences to continue entering her life. Porsha shares a recent experience where her friend, Shamea, attempted to take her out to cheer her up. While the gesture seemed well-intentioned, the reality was far from comforting. Porsha's friends ended up gossiping about her, discussing negative things that others had said about her. Rather than lifting her spirits, it only made Porsha feel more weighed down by negativity. Porsha is left questioning how she can heal if the people around her continue to bring her down with their drama. She wonders why her friends would bring up negative conversations when they are supposed to be offering her support during one of the most challenging times in her life. Miss Diane doesn't sugarcoat things, advising Porsha that she has to be cautious about the people she surrounds herself with. She points out that you've got to watch the dog that brings a bone, meaning that sometimes the people who bring negativity into your life are the ones you need to be most cautious about. She also reminds Porsha that she has been friends with Shamea for a long time, since high school, but that doesn't mean she should tolerate toxic behavior. As Porsha continues her healing journey, she is left to make tough decisions about who she allows in her life moving forward. Will she choose to cut off people who are contributing to the negativity, or will she continue to allow them to play a role in her life? Miss Diane's words of wisdom resonate deeply with Porsha as she reflects on the importance of protecting her peace and moving forward in a way that promotes her healing rather than hindering it. While Porsha is still grappling with the emotions surrounding her divorce, her mother's support and tough love continue to guide her as she works through the difficult emotions and decisions that lie ahead. As Porsha navigates this chapter of her life, it's clear that she is learning to prioritize her well-being, set boundaries, and distance herself from anyone who doesn't have her best interests at heart. Will this lead to her cutting ties with certain friends or simply reevaluating her relationships? Only time will tell. But one thing is for certain, Portia's journey toward healing and finding peace has only just begun.